This morning, the President of the United States, and I use that term loosely, demanded that UCLA pay $1 billion. That seems to be his price. That's how much he wanted from those CEOs to, do all their special things. Remember at that dinner, and remember that other dinner with all the CEOs and the leaders of the oil companies. He asked for $1 billion to his campaign, and then he let them write their own regulations. So $1 billion seems to be the thing. He also, I think he went after Harvard for $1 billion as well. So he went after UCLA, and he said for that $1 billion, he would basically, that's the $1 billion research, the research funding. Research funding for these hospitals, for these colleges and these hospitals like Stanford and Harvard, are what creates the breakthrough drugs for cures of cancer, of Alzheimer's, of all the different things that ail us. These are where it all comes from. And it comes from funding through things like USAID and government subsidies, because they are creating not just pharmaceuticals, but actually the tests that prevent this, or early detection, or whatever. UCLA, Harvard, Columbia, Stanford, all of these colleges provide that to the world. And it's contingent on the funding that comes in from the government and the things that happen in the programs that are very carefully put together over decades and decades to maximize the efficiency, productivity, and the benefits, in theory, to the world with what these research programs produce. But since we have a president that can't read or doesn't read, a group of sheeple that education is a four-letter word, and we have people trying to come up with cures for diseases that are about to kill things under red hats too. And the red hats don't realize that that's what that takes away from them and everyone else in the future. So as Donald Trump goes after UCLA, he recently mentioned the president of Harvard's name in besides Bill Clinton being on the Epstein plane 28 times. That's a lot. I don't know. I think 28's a lot, but that president of Harvard, and then he spits out his name. This is a petulant child that has an issue with higher education and learning in general. He has a big issue with people smarter than him. He feels challenged. He feels attacked just being in the room. Imagine his torture in all that empty space. Ladies and gentlemen, the fact of the matter is we have Governor Newsom now standing up to Trump and threatening to sue Donald Trump, because Donald Trump, like he did with Columbia, like he did with Harvard, like he did with all these other Ivy League schools that probably said no to every one of his children, like he did with all of them, that vengeful orange turd told them and is trying to program how they teach, who can teach, what subjects are available and allowed and approved, and he's telling them, rewriting their curriculum. Now let's just pause right there. Donald Trump, stable genius, is telling Columbia, Harvard, now UCLA, what they're allowed to teach. That brilliant is telling the schools that have produced the most powerful minds and the most important breakthroughs in this world over and over and over and over and over again because of these programs. And he's telling them, no, listen to me. I know better. But he knows better than everything about everyone and everyone about everything, right? MAGA? Just because you didn't go there doesn't mean it's important, because the medications you take were invented there. The procedures you have that saved your life and the lives of your family members were created there. The scientists and the doctors that he's either deporting or not allowing to get their education are there too.